there's multiple conversations before we actually fire someone. We've had multiple conversations with this person and nothing's changed. Those are always difficult decisions, but I think as a leader, it's something you have to stand by. As a leader in business, you have to make hard decisions every day. Sometimes they're not popular, sometimes they're not fun, but I think the worst thing you can do is make a decision, go back on it, and not, be strong in that decision.
Hey guys, I'm here with my great friend and business neighbor, Sexton. He's going to share his entrepreneurial journey from starting a business with his dad, basically from nothing, and growing it into multiple locations, multi-million dollars. And he's got some great insights to share. Check it out. Are you a faith-based father and you want to have the adventure of a lifetime with your son? You have to check out the father-son hike of a lifetime on the Camino de Santiago in Spain. June of 2025, I'm going to be taking a small group of fathers and sons over to Spain. We are going to spend 6 days, hike 70 miles, have some of Spain's most amazing cuisines, see some of the most beautiful places and spaces, but most importantly, spend time together bonding with our sons. If you're interested in this adventure, check out mattshoup.com. When you get to the website, click the Gentle Art of Leadership button and hover down to the father-son hike of a lifetime. Sexton.
Matt.
Dude, thanks for coming out.
Yeah, for sure, man.
You're so far away.
It's a long walk.
How long have we been talking about this now?
For a while, well over a year probably.
Yeah. So we met, like 4 years ago when we moved into the building here.
Correct.
Yeah. You own now everything that we don't.
Yeah, pretty much. Me and my dad, pretty much own the rest of the building. But yeah.
Business neighbors, man. And you've got, you had a lot going on when we met, but then you've progressively built and scaled Hearth House.
Yes.
Bought the business next door.
Correct.
I think just to get the real estate, right?
Pretty much, yes.
You got a sign shop with the building.
Yes, correct. Yeah, that kind of goes back to when we started business was, we really wanted to have something more than just a business. We wanted to have the real estate as well. So when we got into this business, 10 years ago with Hearth House, we just steadily put money back into the business instead of, paying ourselves. So there's a lot of times where, maybe we weren't getting paychecks, but, we wanted to keep putting it back into the business for long-term goals like buying building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When did you buy the first piece of the building? Because this building has an interesting story, right?
Yeah.
Swatton's been here.
Very interesting story. Yeah. What was it? Probably 5 years ago now, I'm guessing.
Okay. So you came in right before.
Yeah, it wasn't that long. Yeah, you were pretty much right after us. But yeah, that's a wild story. So we knew the owner that owned the building because we'd done work with him. And so we called him up about possibly building us a building. And he's like, we found some lots out by I-25. And he's like, actually, I have a building that I'm looking to sell. I'm like, okay. So we come by, we take a look at it. Lo and behold, it used to be a marijuana grow facility, basically. So there was I don't know, probably like 10 individual rooms in this whole building. And it's 5,000 square foot, and you got all these walls, and there's still like I don't grow marijuana, but there's still like leaves all over the place. Yeah, all over.
Little products
smells
left over. Just
like weed everywhere. And we're like, yeah, this isn't gonna work. We actually kind of left there like, yeah, there's no way. And then I think the next day, Dad and I were like, I think we could actually make that work. And the price was right, and the building's actually worked out better than what we expected. So it was a good purchase. We got the weed smell out. Sometimes when you mop the floors, that still likes to still come
5
back.
years later?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. But for the most part, no, it's pretty much all gone. But yeah, it was a lot of demo and construction in that building.
They left you some presents, man.
Yeah. After looking up, we looked up the address, and I think it was it was SWAT team. There was like federal agencies involved in that raid. Like it was crazy.
Well, we trained some of the Loveland and other PD guys and SWAT guys, and when we were at the outlet mall, we wrote a contract over on Torres Court. Yeah, they're like by the rock across from the rock climbing. Yeah. They're like Torres Court, 1540 something. Yeah. It's really great. They're like, do you know what happened over there? We've been in there.
Yeah, that was wild to find out beforehand for sure.
But no, it's been a great space here.
Yeah.
You know, you're building multiple businesses. Kind of, we were talking offline a little bit.
Yeah.
And I want to know your story.
Sure.
Right? Like how you and your dad got
Yeah.
into this, because you guys are out in the trenches every day.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. This is it's like a kind of a bootstrapping story. You know, like we didn't start with a lot of, you know, funds or anything like that. We started from the ground up. But a little background: my dad owned a masonry business in Loveland. Throughout all my years going to school, in middle school, high school. So he had a masonry business. I was in the summers reluctantly, you know, had to help out. Always said there's no way in hell I'm ever going to do this for a job. But that obviously changed when we got into this business. But so he had his masonry business for a lot of years. And then, you know, I was going to school at CSU and getting my business degree. I always thought I wanted to get in healthcare administration. Never really thought I wanted to get any sort of entrepreneurship or anything like that. I even took an internship down in Florida for nursing home administration. It was like my aunt is a vice president of this company, so I took that. Thought maybe that's where
you want to be a dude in an office in a nursing home?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
No way.
Yeah,
that's not
I don't know.
No
yeah,
way.
I don't know why that's the case, but yeah, that's exactly what I thought I was going to do. I will say though, there was an entrepreneurship class at CSU that I kind of fell in love with the spirit of it. Still didn't like totally resonate that that's what I wanted to do, but I did at that point. I was like, all right, that's kind of that could be a cool thing to do when I get older, you know.
Is that like your first taste of business? I mean, you worked for your dad,
yes,
right? But did you necessarily pay attention to the business side?
No,
of it?
I hated getting up at 7 a.m. in the summer, going out and hod
slinging
carrying
mortar
for some mortar.
Okay.
Yeah. So no, I hated that job, but it, you know, obviously it teaches you a lot. I mean, it's hard work. And that's what my parents always tried to instill in me.
Yeah.
So it was good value. So CSU, graduate, get a job, like a very entry level job at the hospital. So I'm doing like registration, like making I don't know, $13 an hour, but I'm just trying to get my foot in the door. Yeah. So I'm working there for probably 18 months. During that time, Dad and I actually get an opportunity to we created a business called Premier One Maintenance. Okay. So what we did was for a restaurant, kind of up and down the Front Range, we would do maintenance work. So at nights, I guess I should backtrack. So Sexton Masonry is what his business was. In 2008, the downturn happened. He was injured, couldn't work doing masonry. So he ended up getting a job at Lowe's. So now he's working at Lowe's for, I don't know, 6 years or so.
Okay.
So Sexton Masonry kind of goes away. He actually gets out of his own business, goes and works for Lowe's. I graduate from CSU, get a job at the hospital. During that time, we're like, hey, we got approached by someone we knew that was like kind of higher up in the restaurant, this actual particular restaurant. Like, hey, would you guys want to do this? Because he knows my dad has, you know, some of that background. We're like, sure. So extra money, see how we do business together. We create this Premier One Maintenance. And so at nights, we would go in when it was closed and we would do maintenance, replace tile and it was disgusting. Like you can only imagine what a restaurant.
You're like back of the house restaurant.
Yeah, back of the house restaurant. Okay. Like, you know, in doing all those kind of things. And
is the paint or roof on your home or business starting to look a little shabby? If so, reach out to one of our sponsors, M&D Painting and Roofing. M&D Painting and Roofing is a full-service residential and commercial painting and roofing contractor in Northern Colorado. And full disclosure, I'm the M in M&D. Check them out at mdepainting.com. Are you a small business trying to navigate all of the landscape of digital marketing and don't know where to go? Reach out to one of our sponsors, Imprint Digital. They are the go-to source for all things digital marketing. They are the producers of this podcast, and they run all of the marketing for all of my companies. Check them out at imprint-digital.com.
So we did that probably for, I don't know, probably 6 months. I go and apply for a job that would have been like a promotion, within the hospital. And I don't even get an interview. So it's like, I'm kind of like stuck. I feel like I'm not going anywhere too fast. Dad calls me up and is like, hey, meet me at this place in Fort Collins. Back in the day, it was called Surroundings. It's no longer there, but it was a kind of an outdoor living store. So they sold patio furniture. They did outdoor kitchens. They did stuff like that.
Okay.
I meet him up there. He's like, "Hey, I want to do this business. Like, I want to get back into business, and I want to like more focus on, like, we'll still do masonry, but I want to more focus on like cooler projects, like outdoor kitchens, outdoor fire features, stuff like that." And I was like, "All right, let's do it." And so we didn't actually do it right then and there. I was probably a couple months. We kind of thought about it. And then we were just on his couch one day in his living room. We're like, let's just do it. So we both quit our jobs. We opened the business January 7th, 2014, I think is when we filed with the state. At that time, it was called projects because we didn't know where we wanted to go with this. So we're like, okay, we're just doing projects, like kind of a random name, but we're like, that's what we're doing. That's going to be your name. So at that time, like I said before, this is a kind of a bootstrapping story. Like, we have no funds. I think he cashed out a 401k, but not a ton of money in that 401k just to get equipment, trailers, stuff like that.
I imagine he gets hurt, like because he, he's working downturn, gets hurt.
Yep.
Working at Lowe's,
Yep.
right? Like that. A lot of that savings or whatever was built probably down to not much, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
you're a starving college kid.
Yeah, and I'm barely getting by at like $13 an hour at the hospital, $14 an hour.
When did you graduate CSU?
2011.
11. Okay.
Yep.
Right. So we didn't cross paths there.
Yeah.
Right.
And so so we start this. So we're on his couch, we're watching the Dan Patrick show, and we're like, hey, let's just do this. I'm like, all right, let's just do it. So we both quit our jobs. We started in 2014, and literally like the first few months, we would take on any job that we could get. Like, it didn't matter. It could be a fence, a deck, some maintenance work. Dad had some contacts from his Lowe's days that customers he dealt with that he knew needed work. At that point, I think it was in the spring, we went to a trade show in Salt Lake City that is for like the patio industry. So we made contacts with grill manufacturers because, the whole idea was maybe let's do something like Surroundings, which is what it was called. It was like an outdoor living place, but obviously a lot lower scale and probably lower class a little bit as far as like product. And so we go out there, we find all this product, like this cool product that we can, possibly sell and put in a location, which we didn't have a location yet. So we're on our way back from Salt Lake after this trade show. We're super excited about the business, where it's going to go. We knew that there was a building off 34, which is the Cooks owned it at the time. It's like that turkey barn right next to, in between Kohl's and what used to be Pizza Ranch. I think it's like
a roofing company there, right?
It's a house on a decent it used to be a turkey barn, which they transferred from a different location way back in the day.
Okay, yeah.
So there was this little corner spot that was for rent, and we're like, well, we just found like a bunch of cool product that we can maybe put in this little space. We can put a little like outdoor kitchen display. Let's just do it. And I think it was like $600 a month. So it wasn't like a huge gamble. So we rent that space, we put an outdoor kitchen display, it's good. You got good visibility, you get people coming in, and, but we're still just like, it's a new business. Like, we're brand new. So it's like, we're kind of, we're making it, to the point where it's like kind of making it, because at one point we're like, all right, I need a truck. I'm driving like a 1999 Ford Expedition or 2001, something like that. And in order to like free up a little cash flow, I sold that Expedition and then leased a truck. But selling that Expedition for $4,000 gave me some cash flow to make payments of my own personal bills. I know that sounds crazy, and that's probably not a good business decision, but at the time, like, that's what I knew I had value in. So
that's the reality.
Why not sell the Expedition, take that $4,000, and go lease a truck that has no money down, and just make payments for the next 6 months? It just made sense. So, but that's how, like, that's what we did just to make this thing work. So we were in that location. I think the same year we took over the rest of the turkey barn. We're like, hey, let's do this, and this. And a lot of times what we did was we even went outside of Loveland just to see, what else, what other businesses are doing. We went to a place down in Golden, at this point, it was only focused like on outdoor living. So we were like, this place in Golden was selling like wind chimes and yard art. We're like, oh, why don't we try to sell that? Oh, terrible decision. Made no money. And even if you did sell them, it's not like you're making like a ton of money on yard art, right?
Yeah.
We tried. There's a lot of things we tried that we were like, yeah, this is going to hit. This is going to be great. And it didn't work at all. But I just feel like in business, you gotta, you gotta try a lot of things, and see what hits. And when opportunities come your way, a lot of times we say, yes, let's try it. That's going to lead me into the fireplace business.
Because you're still not niched in at this point.
No. Yeah. We're not even
scrapping by.
Yeah.
We're just
like,
happen,
we're just like, what can we do?
right?
Yeah. Basically, like we knew, and during this time we were doing a lot of masonry work, with the outdoor living and stuff like that. But, so we're doing anything to make money, and pay the bills. We're not even focused on fireplaces at this point. So, we're doing this for a while. We actually hired our first employee like a couple years into business, and he helps us kind of in the store. But my grandparents, they're helping us in the store, just volunteering their time. Like we kind of have a whole family thing going, which is really cool. And me and Dad are out in the field working. Like, the time when I said I was never going to do this when I was in high school, that's what I'm doing. Like I'm laying stone, I'm making mud, doing all that kind of stuff just to make this business work. And then, so at this point, we're only doing outdoor living, kitchens, we're selling some grills, built-in grills, stuff like that. We have a sales rep that we buy grills from that was like, hey, you should think about selling fireplaces. There's not really a fireplace store in Loveland. And we're like, we don't know anything about fireplaces. It's just, turn it on and, it comes on. And so we're like, again, opportunity, let's try it. So we throw in like 6 fireplace displays in that location, and it kind of takes off. Like it becomes bigger than what we expected. And
so
now,
what you thought wasn't going to pop.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't even on our radar. Like fireplaces wasn't even on our radar, or wood stoves or anything like that. It wasn't anything we ever thought. We thought it'd just be kind of an outdoor living type of store, and that's what we would do. So we bring in fireplaces as kind of it's a hit. It's good for us. And the big thing that we found early on, our kind of competitive advantage, which we still do to this day, was like turnkey, being able to, take a fireplace, especially at, 20, 30 years old, go into someone's house, demo the whole wall out, pull the fireplace out, put a new one in, reframe all, and then do all the finished work. Like that was kind of our competitive advantage in the market, and it still is to this day. And I think that's what kind of really got us going with it. And then obviously as you get into that business, you get new construction contractors, stuff like that, and just kind of starts expanding.
When did you guys finally feel, so you organized, right, January 2014,
Yep.
kind of bouncing around hodgepodge,
Yeah.
and scraping by,
Yeah,
right? Everybody
scraping by.
has that,
Absolutely.
that origin story.
Mm-hmm.
When did you guys kind of sit back and go, okay, we're like a legit business, we've got some financial runway, some cash flow, some good profit?
I'd say 2 years,
Okay.
a couple of years. I mean, up until, I'd say probably up until, so we've been in this business 10, 11 years, up until like 5, 6 years ago, our salaries are super modest, like not making a lot of money. Again, putting as much money as we can into the business, trying to build that, because we knew if we did that, at some point we were going to start being able to make money.
Yeah.
What is that? You live like most won't, so you can live like most can't, or something like, there's some sort of quote like that. Yeah. So we really took that and we kind of ran with it. We're like, I don't need a lot of money to live by, I just need to pay my bills and I'm good with that.
Are you married at this point? So
yeah.
Out of college. When did you meet your wife?
So we probably met 8, 9 years ago. Okay. So it wasn't probably 8 years ago. I'm trying to think, I should know this, but it's about 8 years ago.
We should know this, huh, Joey? We should know.
Yeah, that's bad.
Yes.
We've been married for almost 7 years.
And edit this.
Yeah, edit
Are you
this
sure?
one.
Are you sure? Do you know the date?
Yes, December 29th. So yeah, and that's kind of funny. So she's a teacher, and I think she was making more than me for a few years, like a couple of years knowing her. And so obviously that's changed a little bit now, but so we were just, it was just scraping by on just when we started the business and going forward.
Yeah. So what, like when you met her, where did you guys meet?
Okay.
You and your
So
wife.
that's funny. She was working at Comball Middle School. My mom worked at Comball Middle School. So my mom, like the best wingman you can get, right? She
Hey,
actually,
Shane, I know this girl.
She actually
at the middle school.
Yes, correct.
She's teaching at Comball.
She was a teacher at Comball.
Okay.
My mom worked in the office.
Okay.
And so that's how we met. My mom, wingman of the year.
Awesome. So how'd she like set that up? What did she do? She bring
you
in?
Actually, that's funny. So I actually was at Comball. I think all the teachers. I was visiting my mom. I think all the teachers had like pictures up of like their summer thing. I was like, oh, that girl's cute. And so my mom just kind of ran with it, talked to her. I think she gave her my number. I got her number or something. I think I got her number. And I text her. My wife still to this day is like, why did you text me? You should have called. But that's okay. I text her. We go on a blind date. We actually don't. So we go on a blind date. We go on a couple dates. And then we actually like go our separate ways. A year later, we see each other out at Old Town Fort Collins. We reconnect, and then now we've been together ever since.
That's awesome.
Which is crazy. And we had 3 kids. And
did she fall in love first? She fall in love with you right away?
I mean,
vice versa.
I think
build.
Yeah, it was slow build.
Was it? Okay. Yeah.
No, it was good. No, it was.
Cool.
It's great. We have 3 beautiful children. Live up in Fort Collins, and yeah, life is awesome.
So what's it like working with your dad, right? Because I feel like, because I've had family working in the business and see tons of other businesses, family, and I'm like, man, whatever that dynamic is in the family, it's exponentially magnified in the business.
Yeah.
So how is that? How was that?
So that's changed a lot from the beginning to now. At the beginning, we were working side by side every single day, working hard out in the field. Like it was just me and him. So obviously every day with your dad and business, there can be some like heated conversations. We'll call them that. And that I think can put a little strain on your personal relationship a little bit because it is so business. Now that we've grown and we have, I think we have like 14 employees, 15 employees. We have different roles in the business. So I don't see him like every day and we're not working around each other all the time. So it's a lot better now than it was back then when it's like, geez, like I'm always, we're always around each other and we're working our ass off out in the field and it's hot and, it's stuff like that. So, so now it's a lot different. It's better that we're, we kind of have our roles in the business. We do our jobs and, obviously we talk every day and talk business every day.
Yeah.
But
so you're in this entrepreneurship class, CSU, you get that interest, you and your dad are like, hey, let's do this.
Yeah.
What were some of the surprises or maybe things you didn't expect, good or bad, whatever the results were, but just things you didn't expect going into business that you'd want an entrepreneur to know or think about that just maybe doesn't get talked about?
Sure.
A lot?
It's a lot of work. It's not just like I'm an open business and here comes all the customers and money. It doesn't work like that. I don't know if I had expectations. I think I was just like in a point where I wasn't making great money anyway. So it's not like I was giving up a huge salary to start a business. I think that helped me because I didn't expect to be paid a lot of money. And so that helped me because I was like, I'm used to not getting paid a lot of money. So for this first few years, it was fine. But it's a lot of work. I mean, you take it home with you. It doesn't ever leave. It's stressful. But at the same time, I don't want to do anything else. Like my body's like my mind's wired that way now. I don't know if I could. I go home and work. I don't know if I could take a regular job and not do what I do now.
Do you think that you were always wired as an entrepreneur? Like as you were working these hourly jobs, were you kind of that unemployable type that wanted to go do it a different way, or do you think you kind of learned it?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think I kind of just learned it. I mean, obviously going to in business school at CSU and the entrepreneurship class and some stuff like that, like you definitely, like I said, I definitely like the spirit of entrepreneurship. I just didn't know what that would lead to. Like I didn't have any sort of passion that would be like, I want to open a restaurant or do this or do that. I probably just needed my dad to come up with this idea and like, let's just go with it. And that's what happened.
I love that. That's so cool. Well, there's so many people I think they see where you're at now. Mm-hmm. What are we, you're 10 years in?
Yeah, almost 11 years in January.
11 years in. We're a couple decades in.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, look at all this. I'm like, M&E started $100 in the bank. I got $100 in my bank. I got fired from a bank. Mm-hmm. Guy said, put all your shit in a box. I'm standing in a parking lot in Windsor. I have all my stuff in a box. I'm like, what do we do? Got to go pay the bills.
Yeah.
And all I knew how to do was run residential paint contracting, knocking on doors. And I didn't think we'd keep doing M&D.
Yeah.
I said, we're going to hold us over for a few months. We'll go land some business, pay the bills. And then one thing led to another. And like, here we are. And it's just cool. You can be wherever you're at.
Absolutely.
You can be down to your last penny, your last dollar. You can totally take control of your life, go out, start working.
Yep.
Just get kicked in the nuts repeatedly every day. Keep getting back up.
Yep.
And it hurts.
Exactly.
Just go.
Exactly. But you just keep going. Yeah. Right. I mean,
that's all it is, right? I mean, is there magic to it? I mean, like you have to have a certain skill set and a thick skin. You need to go learn certain things. But isn't there just a almost stupidity, relentlessness of just keep driving forward, just keep getting hit?
Yeah, you got to be self-motivated and survive, right? Like
you'll outlast the other people that quit.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. And that's what we've done. It's what we continue to do. The expansion that we've had, it's been more than I could ever imagine when we started this business. I mean, from the revenue we were doing the first year to the revenue we're doing now, it's crazy.
If you've got junk in your life or business that you need removed, reach out to one of our sponsors, Hulk Addicts. They are a full-service junk removal company, and they'll be able to take care of you at your home or your business to get rid of whatever you don't want. Check them out at hulkaddictsjunk.com. If you're a Christian small business owner, you have to check out one of our sponsors, the Foundry Advisory. They are a Christian peer advisory community here in Northern Colorado and the Front Range that is designed to give you encouragement, support, and insight to grow your business with other like-minded Christian business owners. Not only are they a sponsor and a partner of this podcast, but I'm also a member of their community. Check them out at thefoundryadvisory.com. Supposed to be in an office in a hospital.
Yeah,
pushing
papers,
right?
And I'm not sure what I would be
doing. CSU.
Yeah,
a little bit. Yeah. No, I'm a Ram too. I don't know if you knew. I was there. Yeah, I was there 99 to 03.
Okay,
and
nice.
my degrees were child development and family studies. I wanted to teach, and then Spanish.
Yeah,
so never took a business class.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You talked a lot about owning and controlling the real estate. You're a big believer in that.
Yeah.
Right? So like don't rent, buy your space.
Yep.
What did that process look like? So if you've got a new business and they're over that initial getting started, they're making some good money. What did that journey look like for you? How does a business get started with that?
Yeah, we were we were sacrificing our own paychecks and trying to save up as much as we can because we knew we wanted to buy a building. So I don't know if we necessarily started like a separate bank account where it's like this is for the building. It was just like subconsciously like we're going to take as little as we can to continually to invest in the business, but also to know that we're going to buy a building at some point because we don't want to just, and we don't, in all our locations, we haven't bought every building. Like obviously like we've leased and that's just kind of where we've been. But with this location here, we knew when we first started the business that we eventually wanted to buy the real estate. And at that point, the tenants, right? So the tenants, you feel pretty confident that they're going to pay. And so it just felt like a business decision that needed to be made to grow our wealth even more. But yeah, it's freeing knowing that you kind of own the building and, you're not paying someone else's mortgage.
Was this the first one you bought?
This is the first one
at the far end here?
Yeah, the far end. Yeah,
okay.
It's two addresses, but it's just so 1550, 1554. But yeah, so we bought both of those units, and then what is it? Almost 3 years ago now. Yeah, 3 years ago, I think we bought.
Was it that?
Yeah, I think so. I think it was 2022. Pretty sure. I think it was 3 years. Come up in February.
That you bought right
that
next
we
door
bought
in the
next
sign
door
shop.
in the sign shop, which came with it.
Would you have done that again? Would you have taken the sign? Like, how's the sign shop going?
It's good.
It looks
it's good.
like Ryan's in there rocking
Yeah,
it. Every time I'm in there,
Ryan
he's
rocks it. Yeah,
hustling.
we definitely can't lose Ryan because I'm gonna have a hard time trying to make signs in there if we do
You're
this.
there making cutting
Yeah,
machines.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm gonna be cutting out my own vinyl with scissors or something. But yeah, I don't know how to. I haven't done a great job of learning how those machines and stuff work. But yeah, Ryan rocks it. The business, the business does good. Unfortunately, we haven't put the time behind it that it probably needs because it's this, the fireplace business kind of consumes us. But we're hoping, like, we just took one of our project managers and turned him into a full-time marketing guy because that was his background. So we're hoping that he's going to have time to kind of focus on that business a little bit more, get some social media stuff going and stuff like that. So, but it's going good. It's we landed a pretty big project for the sign shop down in Denver, just changing out faces, sign faces, which was great. But yeah, it's paying the bills. It's doing good, and having the building is huge.
So it's really the building. You would have bought a sign shop, really?
Yeah, we tried to just buy the building. Yeah, we tried to buy the building. We really only wanted the building, but the owner wanted to sell both. And, we needed this space for the fireplace plus. And then, so we're just like, you know what? We built businesses before. We run businesses before. What's business is business when it comes down to it, right? I mean, I know you're selling something different, but it's the same principle. So yeah, we bought a sign shop and, never thought I had a sign shop either.
High impact signs. Come check them out.
High impact signs.
Get some coffee. Come on the podcast. Absolutely. Get a sign. Get a fireplace.
Absolutely.
Do some jujitsu.
Yep. There you go. all in the row of buildings right here.
No, it's a cool spot. It's cool what you've done with the place and the space. And I was going to ask you because you've got guys that are in the trades, right? Mm-hmm. Like they're masonry and drywall and install. And how do you find great people? Mm-hmm. How do you keep them motivated? What's been some of the challenges? I talk to a lot of guys in the trades, and it's tough anyway.
Yeah, more
tough in the trades.
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of funny though. I talk to a lot of other business owners, and a lot of times their biggest gripe or biggest hardship is their employees. I actually feel like we have really good employees. I think it's part of our culture that we've kind of developed, and when it comes to trades. We've, like our mason that does masonry and construction, he was subbing for us for a while. And then he was just like, I want to come on just payroll.
Yeah.
Okay, sweet.
Full-time employee.
Yeah. So we hired him and his helper. And so now, and that's nice, right? I mean, you have a lot more control over your employees than you do subs. So it's nice having that in-house, and he's, obviously stays way busy or, really busy. Other employees, just like contacts that we've had in the fireplace industry that's worked with other people. Like we had a guy that was up in Alaska that we had heard about from our business partner down in Boulder. So when we can get to that point, but we brought a business partner, and this is kind of come full circle with our business partner down in Boulder, but he had worked with him down in Boulder at another shop. And it's like, man, if this guy ever wants to move back, we need to hire him right away. And so he was coming back for the fall to get married in Colorado, and he needed a job. He was going to stay here throughout the winter because Alaskan winters obviously are brutal. So we give him a job, just a temporary job. And we're like, if you want to stay, we would really like you to stay. And so he made the decision actually this summer that he's staying, which is great. And now he's our install and service manager, which is awesome because that's a huge. Again, Dad and I had no fireplace experience. This guy has over 20 years of fireplace experience. So it's nice having someone in that role that knows the ins and outs of fireplaces, the scheduling, how everything kind of works is huge. So we rely on him a lot. But yeah, I mean, and then just the other employees, the installers. I mean, we hired a guy that is from. He used to work for a gas company that we subbed out for our gas line installation. So it's a lot of kind of referral too. Yeah. Not so much. I mean, obviously we've hired people off, Craigslist and stuff like that. But if we can get a kind of a good referral, I mean, we're kind of all about it. And our interview isn't super strict. It's just a conversation. Yeah. And, a lot of times we're like, hey, let's just try this out. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
Well, it's a cool thing in the trades, right? Because Oh, I got 20 years experience.
Yeah.
I mean, we get this from painters all the time.
Yeah.
Been painting for 20 years.
Yeah.
I paint circles around all these guys. Cool. Here's some paint. Here's the house.
Yeah.
Come show me what you got.
Sure.
You know in about 5 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. It's the same thing, I'm sure, with what you guys are doing.
Yeah. We know, we know we've obviously hired people that have no experience. And like we have one guy that pretty much had no experience in anything, and he's now a lead installer for fireplaces. He's been with us for probably 4 years, roughly. Yeah. And so, we obviously kind of like built up that as well with some fresh people out of that weren't doing anything construction wise.
Yeah. How do you fire people when you have to fire people?
Yeah, it's always a tough one, right?
Yeah.
I think there's multiple conversations before you actually fire someone, right? So like we've had multiple conversations with this person and nothing's changed. Those are always difficult decisions, but I think as a leader, it's something you have to stand by. Like as a leader in business, you have to make hard decisions every day. Yeah. Sometimes they're not popular, sometimes they're not fun, but I think the worst thing you can do is make a decision, go back on it, and not, be strong in that decision. Those decisions are tough, but they just sometimes have to be made. And I've learned they're tough in the moment, but then when you get past it, it's not as tough, and you realize it was needed. It's
like sigh of relief.
Yeah.
Well, we always have the deal where, I'm asking, hey, I think we need to let this person go. Okay, we got all the boxes checked. You do it. And then I've seen this a lot. Oh, yeah, you should have let him go 3 months ago because there was this. And I'm like, really?
Yeah, thanks for letting me know.
You have that? Yeah. Do you see that a lot?
I feel like our guys are pretty, like we keep an open door. Like, if there's some issues, let us know. Yeah. And a lot of times, have an employee talk to another employee, and then that employee talks to you. So then you kind of like find out secondary, and that's when you have to go approach that, employee and just say, hey, what's going on here? But yeah, that sometimes happens, but I think a lot of times we kind of know what's going on beforehand.
So you said you partnered in Boulder.
Yeah.
We kind of touched on that.
That'll be kind of full circle. The same guy, the sales rep that told us that, hey, you guys should look at selling fireplaces. We always had conversations, like we had a good relationship with him. So we always had conversations like, hey, if you ever wanted to, because he used to work in a fireplace business, hearth business down in Boulder. We always kind of joked around like, hey, if you ever want to, open a business in Boulder, like it'd be kind of cool to like explore that. And then so he approached us 3.5 years ago and was like, hey, I want to do this and I want to do it with you guys. And so it was a pretty easy decision because we knew like we knew the kind of salesman he was, and we kind of knew him. We knew that relationship. And it didn't take much convincing. We did it pretty much right away. Like, let's just do it. And so we opened the Boulder location like 3 years ago. And that's one of the best decisions we've ever made, for the company. Yeah. And it's going great down there. It's a whole different clientele. They're a little bit more needy, I would say, but that's fine, right? Like that comes with, I think that's what we're good at though. That's kind of our value is being able to handle those clients and take on bigger projects and more high-end projects. Yeah.
So partnership with your dad, obviously Hearth House, right? What Hearth House is what started as projects.
Yeah.
It's a partnership. Exactly. Anything different, or kind of what have you learned about partnerships? What would you give people advice for regarding those? So I would say they're like marriage.
Yeah.
Yeah. And another spouse.
Yeah. Partnerships are incredibly tough. We've had other partnerships before that haven't gone to plan. And I would say like, I probably would never bring on another partner at this point because we've been burned once. And once you get burned kind of once, you are pretty much done with that. Obviously we already had this partner in place and it's been a good relationship with the one down in Boulder, but yeah, they are like marriages, and they're exactly like marriages actually. And you definitely, I would definitely think really, really hard before you make that kind of decision for sure.
Are there any things you would have like checked, like specifically checked or vetted? So like the one where you got burned.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if because on the outside looking in, it it looked like a no brainer. Like this is like he has this and this, like this is what we don't have. This makes total sense.
Yeah.
So I think we got overly excited about that part and just like didn't really think about anything else. We're like, yeah, this makes way too much sense. But then you don't really know who your partner is until you're actually in business, right? And it's not like, I guess that's the difference between being in a relationship. At least you're like dating someone and you kind of know who they are and then you get married. You know, we kind of knew, but we didn't know. And you can't really date, obviously a business partner. So, yeah, I don't know what else we could have did. We probably should ask more questions, maybe vetted a little bit more and not got so excited about what we thought the potential would be with it. But again, that's a risk, It could have worked out. It didn't work out and, we learned from it.
So when that didn't work out, did that just kind of dissolve? Did somebody bring it up? You said it got burned. I mean, or was it like that?
It was probably coming and, it just kind of got approached one day that we were just done with this partnership. And that was a long process, put it that way.
Yeah.
So,
but now parted ways.
Parted ways. Yeah. We're past that and we're in a good place. We just opened Fort Collins, probably officially 2-3 weeks ago now. And so trying to get that store, going and all that.
So so you're married, kids, family, growing family, growing business. Kids are still young. Relatively.
5, 3, and 1.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how do you manage that? Like dad, business owner, leader. I mean, how do you pull that all together and stay sane?
I think luckily it would be really hard if I was starting a business at the beginning. Luckily now the business, it's still tough, but luckily now the business has enough employees in the right places that it's not just me always doing everything or my dad always doing everything. So it's a good timing right now. Obviously I'm always busy, but I don't think I know anything different, and then with kids, like it's what you do. It's right. You're a dad. And so like my son's playing flag football. I'm helping him coach this year. So that's kind of new for me. But there's always time for that. My wife's great. Obviously she's huge at home but she's working too. So she's working and getting her master's right now. So it's
really? Okay. And being a mama. Dang.
Yeah. It's going to be a crazy year, but we'll get through it.
And where's she working? She's not in the business though.
No. Yeah. She's a teacher. She works at Blevins Middle School.
Okay. So she's still teaching then.
Yeah. So she's still teaching, getting her master's in principal's licensure at CSU right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Super cool.
Yeah. She's a good support on the business. She's like she cheers me on, in the business, obviously. Like she's not making like dire business decisions or anything like that, but she's definitely there she's always been there to support for sure.
I love that.
Yeah. No, it's great.
So like new entrepreneur, any entrepreneur, like what other kind of just tips, advice, insights do you have, things you've learned you haven't shared that we haven't talked about yet?
Yeah. The biggest one is it's part of my statement is, nothing's given, everything's earned. Like, you're not just you start a business and start making money right away. Like you gotta work hard at it. And there's gonna be times where you're like, I don't know if this is for me, but don't give up, keep going. 'Cause at some point it's gonna hit. And I truly believe that. But obviously I think I know I've touched on it a lot is keep putting money, invest money in your business. Keep building it, whether that's bringing on employees or marketing more or doing this, doing that, because at some point it's going to pay off. All those things that you do, maybe you're not going to make good money for the first 3 years or whatever it is, but at some point it will. And that's literally what happened to us.
Yeah. Well, and then you'll see, I know with us too, we've gone through these cycles where, you start with nothing, you grow it up, you get it going. Maybe something doesn't work out, then you have this like regression.
Yeah.
Like, hold on a minute. Like I made more and was like, this was a better off business five years ago.
Yeah.
And you have these cycles where you have like setbacks and stepbacks, and that's totally okay.
Yeah.
Totally okay too.
Yeah. We've made plenty of, terrible decisions in business. Like, whether it be like product that we've tried to, And it's always like a case, like it's always good intention, like, oh, we're going to get rich off this. Like, there's no way this doesn't hit. And then all of a sudden, you look back, you're like, you still have that product a year later, like, yeah, it didn't hit.
We had this M&E painting mascot. Joey, have I told you about this? I don't think I have. He's like packed up in a duffel bag, like up in the loft somewhere. We're like, oh, this mascot's gonna be awesome because we're getting ready to launch something right now. I was telling you about. It's not public yet.
Yeah.
And Emily's like, I hope this isn't like the mascot because this is a lot more expensive than the mascot.
Yeah.
But no, just keep trying things. Yeah, and it's never the thing that you expect always.
Well, we started this business, and we still do outdoor living. Like that's still what we do, but fireplaces are 75-80% of our business now. Like we started a business based on something over here that we thought was 100%. Now it's like 20-25%. Now fireplaces are the big business now. I mean that brings a good point. I mean, it's kind of like be a yes man a little bit, like in business. I mean, you make calculated decisions, but if opportunity comes your way, like Boulder, our partner in Boulder coming to us and approaching us like, yeah, let's do it. Yeah. So I think you have to seize those opportunities. They're not all of them are going to work out. But you got to have a little risk. Yeah.
But would you say those whatever little setbacks are, losses, steps back on the things that don't work out, maybe you get 8, 9, 10 of those and then boom, you hit the big one. Yeah. Totally makes up for it. Yeah.
We've always said, we've made plenty of bad business decisions, but they've never been catastrophic.
Yeah.
They've always been like a few $1,000s. It's not like putting a monetary value on it. It's never been anything that's like going to put us out of business. So, I mean, I'm thankful for that. But yeah, those little setbacks, like you said, those little setbacks there's something else at the end of that.
Well, man, dude, thanks for coming in.
Yeah, for sure.
It's been a long time coming. And we wrap the show up the same way with everybody. You've got the statement that you want to leave with the world when you leave it. What did you put down?
Yeah, I put a couple. I think I heard this. I think Drew Brees said this to his kids after he like broke a record, like a touchdown record or something. And it's nothing is given, everything is earned. You can accomplish anything in life if you're willing to work for it. And it's and God sets us up for great works in this life. And then just a Bible verse kind of that I've always, I've had written down is James 4:6, which just says, God opposes the pride, but gives grace to the humble. And I think that can go in business, family, anything in life, right? Try to be humble in business. Business will humble you as well.
Sure will.
So that's something I try to live by too, and not be so prideful, which is sometimes hard, right? That can get in the way, but try to bring a little humility as well.
Well, man, thanks for being here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Shane Sexton. That's
awesome.
a wrap.
Thanks, Matt. Appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for tuning into this week's episode. Would you make sure to please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel here? And please share this episode with somebody whose life it will make better. I would be extremely grateful if you would go to mattshoup.com and click on the free tools and download those. On my website, you'll find that I've got some things for you wherever you are on your journey in life, leadership, and business. Start with those free tools. Maybe next, check out a couple of my books, my video coaching series, or maybe consider even coming to spend a week with me in Spain on one of my leadership adventures.